Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at @DMarkJohnNFL for me, at MHolder95 for Matt, and of course PandaSubs.com discount code TDL for 35% off. So we're going live today, doing this live Q&A. You know what I'm saying? So see, hopefully we get some people in here throwing some questions at us. Talk about the Raiders bye week, right? Kind of what happened. This, we got the little break, right? And then we get the Vikings this week. So yeah, a lot of draft happening, right? It's kind of happening for us a little bit. I got JJ McCarthy. I did him on the members section. Accidentally posted that for everybody. Some guy got mad. He was really mad that I did JJ McCarthy, man.
Was it me?
No, I don't know, man. But he was like, you couldn't did a guard, a defensive end. He was angry, man. I was like, man, sorry. I mean, this was actually for the members, but I accidentally posted it. But
interesting.
Sorry, man.
What are your initial thoughts on JJ? I don't know. I'm not as sold on him. I haven't done the deep dive, but I wasn't a huge fan of him over the summer, and I can't say I was impressed or inspired by him throughout the years from what I saw on the broadcast.
They don't throw the ball enough for me. I feel like they don't trust him a lot. I mean, I feel like it's not really. I don't know if that's just Jim Harbaugh or if he doesn't trust JJ McCarthy. Like the throw he made to that one throw that went viral. I was like, man, that was just a bad defensive play to me. That was like a terrible decision. I watched it like 5 times. I'm like, bro, how did he not intercept that and take it back for a pick six? And that was the type of play that that went viral, but really wasn't a good read. And he has a big arm though. Big arm. He's really fast. And he's 6'3". So true, yeah. Somebody's gonna like him, So and he went to Michigan, they run West Coast offense. Yeah, somebody's gonna fall in love with him for sure. I could see that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead.
So because that's the thing that's like interesting about this quarterback class is like obviously got 1 and 2 or those guys can flip flop, but after that it feels like a steep drop off. And I mean, where the Raiders are at right now, they'll probably be in that third quarterback range. So, like, is he your QB3 right now?
I don't know, man. I haven't really gotten to like where I can start ranking them yet. Because if I did, I mean, I still like Jaden Daniels better than I like him, to be honest. I just feel like Jaden Daniels is cleaner. Like if the Raiders drafted Jaden Daniels, I feel like I know what I'm gonna get, type of thing. JJ McCarthy, he's a wild card. He could suck, or he could be really good. You know what I mean? That's the more thing. If I was if I was looking at it that way, I feel like Jaden Daniels has the same speed, but I feel like he's just a little bit more ready to play, right? A little more mature, I guess. A little older. Even though,
he's a 6-year senior, right? He's like he's been in college for like he's got a doctorate degree damn near. So
that's where I would lean more. I would lean more Daniels over McCarthy, but Daniels is just so small that if he gets hit a lot, that's my thing. So McCarthy's not skinny though. McCarthy's not skinny too. I think he's 202.
Yeah. I think they're both about like 6'3", 205. Like they both need to put weight on. Yeah. If I remember.
If he's put some weight on, if he can get to like 215, kind of just get to like Trevor Lawrence, man. Trevor Lawrence is tall. He's tall. He's like tall and lanky, but he's like he's 220 now. I think he's like 215 at the combine. So just keep adding that weight and we can do something. So all right. So we finally got some questions here, man. This guy wants us to ask him a question. I don't know what he wants to ask.
By the way, I just looked up Jaden Daniels and that picture of him with the high top popped up, and I couldn't help but laugh a little bit.
All right. Do you guys stick with O'Connell or should we pursue QB in round 1? As of right now, I say they pursue a QB in round 1, and it just let those two battle out at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of inevitable that they're gonna draft the quarterback, especially like they're gonna have a new GM and a new head coach. Like that spells to me that they're gonna want the quote unquote their guy. So I feel like they're at the very least they're going to draft somebody, whether it be the first round or the second round, but they're going to spend a pick on someone or bring somebody in to at least create a competition. But yeah, I feel like that's almost inevitable at this point.
Yeah, and and if they get a new coach, who knows how they're going to feel about Aiden? If it's Antonio Pierce finds a way to keep his job, I think Aiden has a better chance at that. Because even when I was talking about Aiden on the radio, and I even posted some of his Pro Football Focus stats, it looks a little better on film because some of those stats are film stats, right? Like big time throws, turnover where he plays. Those are more film stats than they are like actual stat production. He doesn't have the production right now to kind of like say like, hey, this is my job, right? So I think he's got to produce more before we can even think about him becoming a starter in the future. Even though it might look good, he might end up playing well for somebody else. But the production right now is not good. I don't think it's going to keep a coach from being like, oh, hey, if I like this quarterback, I'm not going to take him at 10 if they stay around this area. So
yeah,
I
can see that. I can see it. I could see the argument of like if and assuming he keeps it up throughout the rest of the year, like if Aiden O'Connell plays well, like he at least stops the Raiders from trading up for a quarterback. But yeah, I don't think even unless he comes out and just lights it up, which I don't expect him to do. Like I don't think he's gonna stop them from taking one.
Yeah, exactly. This is kind of funny because I did think about Zach Wilson a little bit too when I was watching it.
What is that? McCarthy?
Yeah, McCarthy. Yeah, little Zach Wilson vibes.
Does he have a 60-yard off-platform across his body throw?
He has some nice throws on the run, Doc. He's got
the trend Zach Wilson started. Zach Wilson, you know what? He might suck in the NFL, but that guy left one hell of a legacy because everybody does that at their pro day nowadays. And I mean, you know what? If you can be bad on the field, but if you make your mark, if you have a legacy to hang your hat on, I feel like that's basically a wash. Not a bust anymore.
Let's see. Do you have any thoughts on Penix? Have you watched Penix yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I haven't done a deep dive this time of the year. Usually, the way I work is basically like summer. I'll go every position, and then once like the season starts, I get bogged down with like my guys that I have to do for Bleacher Report, and then once the season ends, I'll dive into a little bit more. I mean, Penix, like he's got a hell of an arm. That's for damn sure. He can sling the rock, but like one of the things I think that like frustrates me is the fact that he's again like a 6-year senior. Guy's like 30 years gonna be like a 30-year-old rookie, and like he still misses like a lot of open reads where you're like, man, for a guy with your experience, like you shouldn't be doing that. Like you should be like on schedule, and like where like a guy like Bo Nix, I'd almost give him a little bit more of an edge up because Bo Nix, I mean, it took Bo Nix 5-6 years to figure out how to do it. Yeah. But at least he got there at one point where like that's like one of the knocks that like our guy Derek who we had on about I guess a couple months ago now. That's like one of his knocks with Penix is like there's opportunities for him to like read the field and read it, and he just kind of doesn't. Like he'll miss an open guy and miss opportunities. So, and he's not very mobile, which like under pressure he kind of folds a little bit. So.
Yeah, my issue with him is that he's not accurate down to down enough for him to not be mobile. And you know what I mean? Like I wanted some more accuracy down to down. So he felt like a second round guy to me. He did when I watched him on film. That's what kind of where I felt, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is Jano Daniels that big? Because I'm an ASU guy. I swear he's like 185 still. He just doesn't look that much bigger. I feel like every year at LSU he got bigger. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how big he really is, man.
We'll see. Yeah, the combine will be combine will tell all. Especially like not even that. Like obviously you'll get a measurement on their like weight, but like to be able to see these guys next to each other, like that was one thing that can help too.
Yeah, I like this question. I skipped it on accident. But what positional group is the most in need for attention through offseason draft or trades? I mean, I hate being the quarterback guy, but I mean, I feel like if they don't like O'Connell, it has to be that. But after that, because I mean, that's whatever. We were talking about quarterbacks a lot, obviously, right? I would say probably linebacker, right? That's a big one. I think that's a free agency one that they really got to focus on. They got whatever free agent linebackers out there, they got to go get somebody like that. And I mean, defensive tackle is a big one too for me, and kind of cornerback. I feel like it's still kind of all defense, really. I guess you could throw some interior guard in there, some centers, and right center, interior guard.
Yeah,
those two things. But I think they should bring back like a new one. He's cheap. I mean, how many right tackles you're gonna find? He's pretty good. Deke, he's a good right tackle. Bring him back. He's cheap. Or put Mumford in there. I don't know, but it's really all defense still.
Yeah, the first position group that came to my mind, obviously outside of quarterback, cornerback. Like you look at it right now, like someone was asking me from SB Nation to do the 5 questions. They're like, "Who's the Raiders' top corner?" I'm like, "Good question." I mean, Amik Robertson, who's a free agent in the offseason. Jack Jones, I guess, is the next guy. I mean, hopefully Jacorian Bennett turns it around, but like, I just look at that position group. I'm like, man. Like if they're not like to me, like if they're not going to go with a quarterback, like I almost feel like you have to go quarterback in the first round because it is that thin. Like defensive tackle, I guess you can make the same argument. I'm a big fan of Jerzon Newton too, but like I just look at that cornerback room, like man, like they won't like they don't have like anybody that really I feel confident. I mean Nate Hobbs is solid, but he's kind of just we've kind of figured out right by at this point that he's a slot only guy. Like they need somebody on the outside and pretty desperately. And yeah, that's a brutal position group for me right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they need some corners. So is the draft cornerbacks? How's that looking? I mean, you're kind of I know you. I kind of in those Bleacher Report rooms. Those guys, how they feeling about it?
Our DB guy, I will say, our DB guy is like he's very much like you got to like. I'm the opposite where like I'll start guys high and then I'll bring them down as the process goes along. He's the opposite where like he'll start them low and then bring them up. But he's got Kool-Aid as pretty much like the top corner in this class, and it's not really close. And then a few other guys like Nate Wiggins, he's not as high on. I've seen other people be like a little bit more. The other guy from Alabama, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He's not as high on, but it definitely feels like this is as a whole a down cornerback class.
Perfect.
So. Yeah.
All right.
Which not ideal.
It is. Free agency it is what you're saying. All right. Does McCarthy run? Answer that question real quick. Yes, he does. A lot, actually. Any chance we traded for MHJ? Oh man. How big is the drop off between him and the receivers after him? Now, I haven't got in depth. I guess it's a pretty damn good receiver class from what I heard. People really like it. I've seen Jordan Reed from ESPN talk about it a lot. But Marvin Harrison is like Julio Jones, AJ Green, whatever, those type of prospects. I mean,
he's the best wide receiver prospect since Calvin Johnson.
Yes, right. I mean, Julio came after Calvin. Is he better than Julio? I don't know. I can't say that yet. I would compare him more to Julio.
Julio wasn't even the top receiver in his class, though.
Who's top receiver? Who's better than
AJ
Julio?
Green.
That was preference. That was not really smart in my opinion. That was more like AJ Green's a senior. He's a more refined guy. But Julio was obviously the more talented receiver. But
I mean, both guys have like Hall of Fame careers.
It's just hard for me to call somebody Calvin Johnson. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to go there. But
I still think he's not 6'5" and runs like a 4.3. And
he might though. He might.
I'm saying he's the best. Like, I mean,
he's ridiculous though.
He doesn't have Calvin Johnson's size, is what I'm trying to say. I guess a little bit. Like he might run like a similar time, but to be that behemoth and run the 4.3, and if you remember, like Calvin Johnson like wasn't gonna run and then like borrowed somebody else's cleats and ran like the 4.35 or something like that back in the day. So, but yeah, no, Marvin Harrison Jr. is an absolute stud. I think he's the first non-quarterback off the board. That being said, I don't know how much sense it would make for the Raiders to trade up for him.
No, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, but
like if they're trading up, they're trading up. If they're trading up that high, especially, they're trading up for a quarterback and one of the two big guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, bro. He's ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing against. I mean, because sometimes Big Ten wide receivers they play against Big Ten corners, and I'm just not. Outside Ohio State, so beside him at practice, there's really not a lot of top level Big Ten corners in the NFL, if you think about it. But you watch him against Georgia or whatever, they play the playoff games and all that stuff, he's still dominating just like he did. So it's really not a factor like that.
I mean, this year the Big Ten had a couple good corners in Kalen King from Penn State, and he Marvin Harrison ruined Kalen King's draft stock.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then I can't remember if he was healthy or if they even played, but Iowa had Cooper DeJean holding it down for
yeah,
the white corners out there. So
putting it down, putting it down over there, they can't find an athletic, white guy to play offense over there at Iowa. So, all right, so we're still behind these questions. Let me get these questions here. How you have AOC battle a new could be that is more mobile? See, the thing is, like, AOC's film is better than his stats, so it's like somebody could just come in like, I could do a short passing offense with him or something dumb if he keeps playing pretty well and really shows on film that he can run an NFL offense. It's gonna look a little different. So, it's just some of those things that with AOC that I think he's going to be in a battle with somebody. It's not going to be easy for them. No. All right. Who are your top 3 OCs if we keep AP?
I mean, I feel like it's tough to answer at this point because you got to see who's going to get a head coach job and who's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't have a solid grasp on position coaches around the league. So,
me either.
As much as a football freak as I am, I couldn't give you a great answer for that one.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe the Rams offensive coordinator to get a Sean McVay disciple,
a quarterback coach or somewhere. Steal a guy from college. You can steal a guy from college. Maybe. That's an upgrade. That's a job upgrade. That's probably the only thing I could think
Kellen
of.
Moore, if he gets canned with the Charger staff this offseason, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But then again, I don't know if we want that guy after the after this past season.
I like Kevin Moore, but they got to have like the most on and in tune team because he thinks he's like Bill Belichick of offense. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. Pick a system, bro. Pick a damn system. That's what I went with him, man. Any free agents at any position you guys want in the offseason?
I mean, Jalen Johnson's going to be my top guy. I was talking about it with corners. He's going to be, I think he's like 25, 26 years old. Been a stud this year. Been a stud for most of his career. He's going to be probably the top corner available given his age. Maybe L'Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs, but I'd probably take Johnson over him. So, yeah, that'd be my guy.
Yeah. I'm Jalen Johnson too. I'm trying to think of some guys to be free agents. I low key want T Higgins, but I mean that would be me.
They have so much money poured into that receiving core already. Like they'd have to get rid of Devontae at that point.
I'm just saying Devontae's 32. I'm just saying if they went that route, he's a little older, and you could just plug in a guy who's just never got a chance to be number one. I mean, and he has a lot of number one abilities. That's just me being greedy, but they got to go anywhere on defense. If I was being greedy, that's who I would want because I think you got to replace Devontae at some point, and I don't want to do the whole we got 2 number 2s thing for a while. I want a number 1. So
yeah.
We got to score points at the end of the day. So we got to score points. But go ahead.
Justin Madubuike, another guy to keep an eye on too. The D tackle from the Ravens. He's having a hell of a year. Had a really good year. I think is he up double-digit sacks this year? If he's not, he's close, and he's been a consistent pass rusher for him. Obviously, big position in need too. And I think the Ravens are up against it as far as cap space goes. So I think he might end up walking. So he'd be a good name to keep an eye on as a 3 tech.
I just because it's the first free agent that popped up was Kirk Cousins. I'm like, oh man.
Kirk was having a good year before.
I know, but I just want to know where he heard this because I heard different. So I heard he got.
I think that was from Hondo.
I heard he got lowballed.
Yeah, I think that's been reported a few times. Yeah, he got lowballed. Like, I do think there was some sort of. Does seem like at least like he was at least interested in coming back, and then the Raiders didn't, or McDaniels and Ziegler did make him a good enough offer, and he got.
Go ahead. He would have better Garoppolo, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean, the fourth round pick they took is better than Garoppolo right now. So yeah, I could definitely see that part. But yeah, he's making what, like 5-10 million as a backup quarterback. That's kind of expensive.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's pretty expensive. But he would have been better than Garoppolo. That's all I know. He would have been. So I don't know what their plan was. They thought Jimmy G was going to be that the guy, I guess. So they want to give him all that money that Jimmy G's gonna be the most expensive backup next year. I don't know what they're gonna do with his anything that he has right now. So I don't know. That's gonna be weird.
I feel like if you're a GM, you can, like, because they'll save at least a little bit of cap space, and you can at least like wipe your hands clean. Hey, it wasn't me. Like a new GM will be like, yeah, we'll just cut you. I don't know. I feel like Jimmy G's a 6 games and done for the Raiders. I don't. I
hope
don't
so.
see him coming back next year. Like, yeah.
Oh, Grover Stewart's a free agent next year. Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Grover Stewart. I'm just looking at this. Grover Stewart. Sheldon Rankins. Look at some DTs. Michael Davis. Kenny Moore, but he'll get paid. There's no. They're not.
Christian
like
Wilkins is a free agent too, and they've paid so many dudes. I don't think they're gonna be able to afford him.
Oh man, because I would take Kenny Moore in a second. And there's Devin White. I don't know if people love Devin White, but I know he's not the greatest guy in the world. That's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty good. Decent free agents out here. Actually pretty decent class. DJ Reader, too. Was a pretty good player.
Yeah. Problem is, most of those guys are like 30 already, though. And I mean,
yeah, but the Raiders got some young guys. I think 30 is okay. You know what I mean? We can't get every 25-year-old free agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially a D tackle. It's like he could play another 3 years. Frank Smith as head coach. I don't know how Frank Smith is as the Raiders need a leader. So hopefully, if Frank Smith can lead, then I'm down with Frank Smith because that's really what I want. It's just a damn leader, man. I'm tired of these savants.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know. Part of me, maybe I'm putting too much weight into it, but like the fact that he like worked with Waller and like was able to relate with them, and like I think Waller and him were like pretty close. Like I feel like that speaks well to him being like kind of a player's coach, because we obviously know Waller and McDaniels butted heads. So if that's one thing that can work in his favor. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. If he brings that Miami offense with him, and he has the vision, and we get like 800 Trey Tuckers, then yeah, I'm cool with that. All right. I think it's about Aiden O'Connell. Is that he's not producing, or are they not giving him opportunities to play it safe? It's a little bit of both. That's what I would say. A little bit of both. I looked at the numbers, and I told Matt it was a different number earlier, but I looked it up. It was actually 26% play action. So they're actually doing a lot more play action. And, they're trying not to put the ball in his hands too much, especially after the Miami game. I think they were like, they got like terrified. So like, oh,
and then he had his best game, and they still wouldn't let him lose.
Yeah, they're like, oh, but maybe let you lose. It might be Miami. So, yeah, it's a little bit of both. But I think on offense, they're just not putting up points, and they're too dependent on the run game right now. And they got to mix it up. I think they got to do more play actions. Like, let's play action first down. We get us some yards. Play action first down. Maybe play action second down. More of those type of things where they're mixing it up a little bit, because he had a really good game in play action against the Chiefs. So, yeah, they got to do more of that. They got to keep doing play action with him and mixing it up.
That's what they did well with the Giants, too.
Yeah.
Play action.
When do they consider shutting Max down? Probably like if they lose like this game. I would think about it.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like, especially if it is not getting better. Tough to say, but yeah. The only problem is that guy seems like he's hard to save from himself. We already found out that he's willing to put his life on the line a little bit to play football. So that's one of the biggest problems. But yeah, I think if they lose this game, I think you got to sit down and be like, buddy, let's be smart. I saw you laughing. What's it?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the comments. It's just funny. Don't mind me. I'm reading the comments, so if you see me laughing, it's something.
Gotcha.
All right, sorry about it. My bad, dude. You might get Fields for a third or a fourth. They get Daniels too. It's just the Fields thing. I know Fields has a big buzz for people.
I don't. I liked Fields a lot coming out of Ohio State. Like I had him higher than Zach Wilson, like coming out as quarterback too. But I don't know, man. This year, like if it's a third or a fourth, like all right, maybe it's worth a shot. But I just like I'm not feeling confident in them and him being the guy, like and them being able to turn around. But
See, my thing with him, and I hate to do this. I hate to be the QB wins guy, but he's 7-26. You know what I mean? like, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. You know, at least by year 3, you should be like winning. At least. I mean, after that, whatever happens, I don't know. But year 3 as a quarterback, you should be in a winning mode, where we're like, oh my God, you're winning something. Okay, it's just not. I don't know. That's my thing. It's like what's happening? Like you have the ball late and you like end up losing a game. You see a lot of those things with him. It's like because he has to start passing at that point. He has to become a pure passer. That's what it's, you know, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I hate even using that with him, but sometimes it's true with him that sometimes he just doesn't process the things super quickly.
No.
And he's getting better at it, but you know, do we have time to trade draft picks and hope and pray that he's going to develop into this monster? That's what.
And plus, like you'd have to make a decision too. Like pretty much right when you trade him, you have to make the decision of are you going to pick up his 5th-year option, and you don't like. And at that point, if you don't, then they can get themselves into a Josh Jacobs situation if he does play well, and then they're gonna have to pay him anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I'm 1,000% with you on the processing is slow, and dude, he will just run into some of the worst sacks I've ever seen. Like there's one clip on Twitter where like he has a clean pocket and just darts right into the center for a sack. I'm like, I know the Bears' offensive line has been bad this year, but he hasn't exactly helped matters. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair to him, I didn't think he'd even be this good. His rookie year film was just, I was like, man, I don't know what are you doing. But he's gotten better though, so that's what I'm saying. Like, is the arrow's pointing up, but like, do I take a chance on that up?
slow one.
That's a big thing, right? That's to me, it's like drafting a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, except you only have 1 year on the rookie deal.
Yeah, exactly. Ken Dorsey for OC. I'm not a big Ken Dorsey fan, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, what if AP sticks with Bo Hardegree? Bo, I like Bo because he does a lot of motions and stuff like that. And I don't know how much he's being told to be conservative and have these run plays and make these type of run, you know, whatever they're trying to do and trying to get the game going. But I also think for Bo, what he tries to do, this team is way too slow. They're way too slow for what he tries to do. Yeah. They're just too slow. So he's trying to do all this Miami stuff. He's trying. He's trying to do these motions and stuff. But we have Jacoby Myers, man. Like, we don't have like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and you know, and it doesn't work because every time I watch it, man, this would be a great offense if they had some faster guys. The stuff that he's doing, but they're slow, you know.
And I think the knock on him too is like outside of the Giants game, like the offense hasn't really produced as much as they have. I know they've looked better and we've liked it a little bit more, but I mean, outside of the Giants game where they did put up 30. They haven't scored more than 20 with him as the offensive coordinator. And at some point, kind of like what you're saying, like you have to at least put up numbers and produce.
Yeah, you got to produce, man. You got to produce. Even if they're moving the ball well. But, you know, a lot of it to me is like, especially the Chiefs game, they just tried to run the ball too much. And even, you know, when you run the ball a lot, I mean, running the ball week to week a lot does not equal a lot of points. I mean, that's why in the 80s they didn't score a lot of points. In the 70s they didn't score a lot of points because they're running the football more often than they're passing the football. So, I mean, that's why the NFL, you know, stop guys from grabbing people and you can't do anything, and they're opening all this stuff for quarterbacks because more points equals more entertainment. You know what I mean? People are entertained by points. So, you know, we take that, you know, that element. I don't know. You just try to run the ball a lot. It's not going to work, especially against Patrick Mahomes. So a couple questions here. So what does Pierce need to do to keep the job officially? He's got to at least get to 9-8.
Yeah, I was gonna say get to 8 or 9 wins. Like that's. Yeah. I feel like we've said like pretty consistently, and like, like as a head coach, you got to win a little bit. And the last few weeks where he's kind of shown his inexperience, or the last couple of games, I should say, where he's shown his inexperience as a head coach, like that's not helping him right now. And the fact that his 2 wins are against the 2 terrible New York teams, not exactly boasting much confidence.
Can you see the Raiders re-signing Jacobs but trading Adams? I can see both of these. I think there's a bigger chance they re-sign Jacobs, right? I think they're going to re-sign him. The Raiders are going to get killed on Twitter for doing this, but they might do it. I have a good feeling. The trading Adams, though, I wonder what Adams' value is right now, because even though he's producing pretty well, he's not producing like he used to, right? You can blame the quarterbacks. He's getting up there in age. What do they get for Adams at this point? You're not getting a first round pick, I don't believe, right? I think you might get a.
I think you could do it if you took on more of his contract. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's another team can get Devontae Adams and like the Raiders eat some of that money, because that's probably going to be the biggest like ache, like what we were talking about. Like, oh my, do I really want to give up this much cap space to a 30, 31-year-old receiver? But if the Raiders would be willing to eat it because they aren't going to be big spenders in free agency potentially anyway, then I think you can get it first. I mean, the dude is or has been like the best receiver in the NFL, or at least top 3 guy for the last 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't know. I feel like he can.
NFL's weird though,
It's true.
If you're not like producing and you're at that age, that's how the NFL starts treating you. They start treating you like that. Like, oh, look, you're 32. You had less than 1,000 yards. Because I don't even know who he's on pace for right now. I think he probably is.
He's on pace to get 1,000, but like it's not like he'd been getting 1,300 every year easily.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the way the NFL is. I'm not even talking about how he is or what he can do after he gets traded. You know what I mean? It's more about like how the NFL is like, oh, you're whatever. You're small. Yeah. You're old, basically.
Yeah, he's at 814 now, so he's gonna get 1,000.
Yeah,
200 yards in the next 5 games. That'll be there.
Win or loss this weekend, Matt? What do you think? What are you thinking? What are you leaning on Wednesday night?
You know how we were just talking about the cornerbacks and how Jack Jones and Meek Robertson are competing for the number 1 job right now, and Jacorian Bennett, who's a healthy scratch 2 weeks ago, is going to be elevated and getting more playing time.
Yeah.
Well, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison's been pretty good too, and Justin Jefferson's coming back, so I'm not exactly thrilled about their prospects of covering those 2 guys, regardless of who the Vikings have at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big part of why I kind of think the Vikings are going to win.
Yeah, but Dobbs is past. The only thing I would think the Raiders could win this game is that Josh Dobbs is past his 2-game magic, and
So I was listening to a little bit of side tangent. I was listening to Pardon My Take, and they're talking about Josh Dobbs, and like I don't know if I've seen a player who gets worse the more he learns the playbook. Like, he's too smart for his own good. Like, the guy's like a literal rocket science, and like once he gets the playbook down, now he just overthinks it and sucks. Because with the Cardinals too, like if you remember, like I think it was week 2, maybe week 3, like they beat the Cowboys, and like he looked good. Like he looked good to start off with the Cardinals after they traded him right at the end of training camp. And then all of a sudden he like figured out the playbook, and other teams figured out him, and he went back to sucking. And that's kind of what we've seen in the last 2 games from the Vikings. Like, dude was about to be the next like Michael Vick or whatever, and when he first started with the Vikings, and then now all of a sudden he's bad again. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, for sure, man. Give your thoughts on Jerzon Newton, because I'm sure you've checked him out.
I love Jerzon Newton. He's one of my favorites in this draft class. I've got him graded pretty high. I mean, he's force against the run, can get pressure as a pass rusher, has a few moves he can win with. The biggest problem is he doesn't fit the size profile, and he's got T-Rex arms, which is going to be the tough part of like he's listed at 6'2", which really means he's like 6'1", 6.5 and a half an inch. And so that's kind of like the biggest thing is like, I'm curious about what his arm measurement's going to be at the combine and Senior Bowl and all that stuff. I don't even know if he's going to the Senior Bowl, but yeah, his tape is like, it's not, no one else comes even close to touching him as far as the defensive tackles in this class. Like, it's pretty dominant. Like, he went up against Penn State which was like the best team he played, and he looked really freaking good. Like, and again, it's both phases of the game. It's just a matter of, can this guy be the outlier? Or can you rely on this guy being an outlier? And it's like, all right, if we're talking about the Raiders having a top 10 or even top 15 pick, like, do you want to spend that on a guy that isn't going to fit the profile that you normally look for? But I'll tell you what, man, you flip on that tape and he's easy to like.
I've seen some clips of him. And so this question for you, Matt. What do you look for in a good corner?
Smooth hips, one of the biggest things. Like, how good is their change of direction? I mean, that's probably one of my biggest things too. And that's another position where size and measurables are big. You know, I want to see a guy that's at least 6 feet. You know, the Janoris Jenkins of the world don't exactly aren't exactly common, where they can be 5'9" and cover the outside and that kind of stuff. So it's another position where size I think is a big factor. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is obviously that change of direction skills and the foot quickness a little bit too. It's another one where like the times on the combine make a big difference.
Yeah. You can already answer this one. Lassiter, who's Lassiter? You doing this?
Lassiter, he's the corner from Georgia.
Okay.
I don't know a ton about him. I know he's kind of like he might be a little bit more of a slot guy. I think that's what our BR guy has him pegged as, or in that room. But yeah, I don't know a ton about him.
And you could probably talk about this one too. How's the D tackle class coming out?
This year's class, I mean, Newton's, like I said, the headliner. I like Leonard Taylor a lot. I think he can be a good pass rusher, and his junior tape was better than this past year. I should say I don't remember exactly what class he is, but his 2022 tape was better than 2023 a little bit. But he's super quick, got some pop to his hands. Just pad level is his biggest issue. He fits the size profile a little bit better. I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say he's like 6'3", 6'4", like probably 310, 310. I want to say 305 to 315, that range. So he's definitely a good player. It's not a great position group as a whole. Like my DT3 right now is Rook Ahororo from Clemson. I probably butchered that, and I promise you that's like about how it is. It literally sounds like your Scooby-Doo saying his last name. It's Ahororo.
Okay. All right.
He's more of a project. Like he's like you'll see plays where you're like, damn, like you could tell a guy has some physical traits. He's from Nigeria and like didn't start playing high school football until his junior year. So still a little bit newer to the game, but definitely more raw, a little bit more of a prospect project. But he's interesting. Yeah. A lot of the D tackles though have been, I liked them a lot in the summer, or I liked what I saw from them. And then as the year's gone on, it just kind of drops and not as high on them. But Rook Ahororo was one of the guys that did rise up my board as the year went on.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they just haven't been talking about, to be honest, like with this draft has been all quarterbacks. I feel like all the buzz during the whole season has been nothing but quarterbacks. And it's been so weird to me because usually there's some kind of buzz for other positions. But like right now, man, it's just like it's quarterback everywhere I see. I never see it. It's like you don't see a lot of other positions right now. It's weird. Max Crosby's out for the year for the knee. It hasn't been announced yet, has it? He's not out yet.
No, he's not out for the year. He's on the injury report today. He didn't practice today, but yeah.
Okay. If Bill Belichick is hired by the Chargers, which I never heard this from him, you guys are on it. If Bill Belichick is hired by the Chargers, do we swing for Jim Harbaugh? See, okay, let's talk about Jim Harbaugh here. That's a good question. I like talking about Jim Harbaugh because my whole thing with Jim Harbaugh is, what are you doing on offense? Because if anybody goes watch my JJ McCarthy thing, I start complaining. Mid breakdown, I'm complaining because I'm like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is not like this. It's just watching like a 90s West Coast offense. So I want to know what he's doing on offense before I even think about. You can lead.
So you mean the offense Jim Harbaugh played in when he was in the pros?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, what are you doing on offense? That what is your plan? Like, who's your D coordinator? I'm sure you could probably go get you a good D coordinator. I'm sure you could. I believe in you on that. But like on offense, what are you doing, Jim? Are we running your offense? Are you gonna let somebody else run an offense? And then
available.
Don't even say that. It's not funny. And then even if you hire an outside guy, let's say that you hire the outside guy and an offense doesn't go how you want it, do you take over? That's
we're talking about Jim Harbaugh.
Oh man, because if you look at the Niners, the start of when he was there at the Niners and when he left, the offense just went blue. And yeah, and then that was the first complaint when he went to Michigan. That was the biggest complaint, and then he had to change it up, and then he changed it up and kind of mixed the spread in a little bit. That's my biggest thing, man. That's my biggest thing with Jim Harbaugh. It's like, I'm sure you can lead. I'm sure you can motivate. I'm sure you can get the guys ready. I'm sure you can get them pumped and they can go play hard and get them ready. But we still got to play like offense. And that's what I'm worried about. That's all. That's all I'm worried about with him.
Yeah. But, my thing with Jim Harbaugh too is what you said is 1,000% true. But like he's even said, like when he left the Niners, he's like, yeah, I think I might be better off as a college coach. Like those raw, like fucking like ball buster coaches, like even if they work out at first in the NFL, like they don't usually last. You know what I mean? Because it's like the message gets to starts falling on deaf ears, like the whole slogans and all that stuff. Like that's something that like if you do that for more than like 3-4 years at a time, like guys just kind of get tired of it, and guys in the NFL don't want to be screamed at and yelled at like as much as like a guy like Harbaugh likes to do, because he is a very demanding coach.
Yeah, that's what it is too. Because I'm not saying that they would come out and they might start winning like early on. It's just the offense. Like, what is he going to do? Is it going to last? That's what I'd be worried about, man. I think about some of those stuff too much. Would you agree with his perspective? I think it's more advantageous to build up the O line and D line before considering a QB.
I battle with this one a lot. Go ahead.
I know. To me, it's if they really like a quarterback, they should take one. That's how I feel about it. If they love a quarterback and they feel like that guy's the future, and they're at 10 or 11 and they're at a good spot where they could trade up to 7 or something, do it. But if they feel like that they can do something with AOC and go one more year and kind of figure it out and then trade up once they build a better team, then maybe they could do that. But because my biggest fear, especially with AOC, is like, is somebody going to beat him out? That's my thing. And I saw some comments about that, but you'd be damn surprised. I mean, he's ready to play. Like he's ready. Like he doesn't look terrible out there. He looks like he could play NFL quarterback, and like maybe he gets better year 2. That thought can go into any coach's head. So, but go ahead, Matt. What were you gonna say?
I mean, you kind of like nailed it for me a little bit. Like my thing is like, I get the like sentiment of like building up the offense and like making sure everything's like letting a rookie quarterback come into a good situation. My fear is, what if you get into a situation where it was like, what was it, 2 years ago, that quarterback class with Kenny Pickett, where like we're sitting here trying to force Kenny Pickett into being a first round pick, of like, if there's a quarterback that you like and that you think can be a stud, like you got to go after him and get it, because there are so much of dime a dozen. It's not like every other position in the NFL where, we can go back through the list and you could probably find like good players at least like, in the first 2 rounds at every single position. Like quarterback, there are years where everyone's just a bust, where everyone's just not good. It's that difficult of a position, but it's also so important that like, if you have this guy that like you feel confident in and you like, I feel like you got to get him and then kind of figure it out from there. Whereas like the sentiment of like, just pass, get everything right. Like, well, when you're ready to go draft that quarterback, you're not guaranteed that guy's going to be there. And that's kind of like my biggest hesitation with not going after one of these guys that we think might be a generational talent in Drake May or in Caleb Williams, or even one of the quarterback 3s if they feel that strongly about him. But it is a tough line, and one thing where I just don't think there's a cookie cutter solution to finding a good quarterback and creating a good offense.
Yeah, for sure. Is it realistic to say AOC will start next year? I mean, it is. I think it is. It's just, see, when I watch AOC, man, that's the thing. It's like, man, you look like you could probably be a starter, but is somebody actually going to give you a chance if you don't produce because you're a 4th round pick? That's kind of, it's just the way they treat Brock Purdy. Because I had to go. I just saw the whole Brock Purdy discourse today, and I saw somebody compare him to Jimmy Garoppolo. I was like, you know what? I got to go watch this film, because there's nothing. I got to figure this, see it for myself. And Brock looks pretty damn good out there on film. It just looks like a 7th round pick that knows what the hell he's doing. So it doesn't look like it's sexy. It doesn't, he doesn't have this big arm, but he's just running Shanahan's offense perfectly, right? So it doesn't look sexy, but he's putting up all these numbers. Like he had this one play where he went through his reads and there was a check down wide open, that I was begging like Jimmy Garoppolo to do when he was playing, and he found it. And then George Kittle went for like 40 yards. And that's those type of things, with a quarterback like O'Connell, somebody's going to like that. But also they're going to be like, well, you're a 4th round pick and you threw like 4 touchdowns and you have 6 interceptions and your rating's like 78. So you're a backup. That might happen too. But we'll see, man. We'll see how that goes with him. I don't know. It's just,
yeah, especially if they go completely outside hires, where it's like they like obviously you watch some film, but like you don't have it in the day to day. Whereas like if they go with someone that's in house that can like that vouch for O'Connell a little bit more, you know what I mean? Where like they've seen it a little bit more and watch more of the film instead of just looking at the stats. Whereas, I feel like if you bring in someone outside, it's a little different, a little bit easier to be like, yeah, this guy's not good.
Exactly. What's our record the next 5 games? Realistically, the Colts are better than I thought.
The Broncos are a lot better than we thought too, or at least in the beginning of the season.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Colts game is a trap game for them. Like the Colts we're going to make the playoffs with Gardner Minshew, and then the Raiders come and beat them. I feel like that's a little trap game for the Colts. And like I said, I just have one request. If the Broncos have a chance to make the playoffs, beat them. So I need 2 wins. Beat the Chargers and beat the Broncos. That's all I want. So realistically, they could win 3 games, because I still think they could beat the Vikings a little bit. I feel like they're
I think they could. I'm just not confident.
Yeah, I think they could beat the Vikings. So I could see them getting 9-8 and 8-9. But not 9-8, probably not 9-8. That's 4 wins. That's too much. That's
I was going to say
that's getting hot right there. So with 9 wins, I could see them going like 3-2 this next few. Yeah, like
can't be more optimistic than I am. Yeah. I was going to say 2 wins at best.
I guess I have a little more.
Like I get wanting to beat the Broncos. I just don't think they can at this point. I don't think they will.
See, but it's this division. It's this division game. And it makes it because the thing is, when you play division games, last game, even if you're out of it, the other team that you're playing might be in it, and it makes it a game that let's just keep them out. You know what I mean? That's what I look at it that way. Let's get these questions. About like 10 minutes, 13 minutes left. So, what is high realistic contract offer for Jacobs? I'm not going higher than $12 million. Sorry, Jake. Sorry, Josh.
That's what is that what he got this year?
Yeah, you get the same thing, man. Just with some guarantees later on. Same thing. I'm not giving like 16. That with 3.6 yards per carry, and I'll tell you that. Which position on defense is 3T or corner? Because I was about to a little bit corner, big time.
Yeah, I think corner.
Yeah,
to me.
What draft picks would you consider trading Devontae to the Jets? I still wonder if we can get a first, man. I still wonder if we can get a first at this point, but the lowest I would start at a second. I would start at a second.
I feel like you could convince the Jets to give you a first because the Jets are so desperate and it's Aaron Rodgers' friend. like I feel like if there's one team that's going to give you, like, if it's a question if Devontae Adams is worth a first round pick, there is no question in my mind that the Jets would give up a first round pick for him. So. Aaron
Rodgers and friends. That's his teams. You don't even call it the team that the New York Jets. It's Aaron Rodgers and his friends.
They let him pick the 3rd string quarterback who ended up starting for him.
So I mean, talk about this one. I mean, of course, first round pick is the big one. They have a first round pick. Do they have a first round pick to give us though? I don't think so.
Yeah, because they didn't. It was a conditional second that turned into a first if Rodgers played 65% of the snaps or whatever it was, and obviously Rodgers didn't or won't.
Yeah. So, all right. He says we're terrible GMs.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're not GMs. So
yeah, man.
I'll tell you what. For $1 million, I will take on the job for a year and see how I can do.
I don't know. I feel like I would just do what the Ravens did. Like, oh, you let Kyle Hamilton fall to me. Let me take Kyle Hamilton. Oh, Travis Jones. Hey, that looks nice. Let me take Travis Jones. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like teams overthink it. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
I mean, because how the hell did Kyle Hamilton fall to 14? Like, this makes no damn sense. And now he's like the best safety in football.
Because he didn't run a 40 in a straight line.
God, good Lord. This is overthinking. Like, did you guys not see him like run from one side of the field to the other side and pick a like what are we doing here, man?
His whoever his combine coach though deserves to be fired. That guy ran like a 3-cone drill in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, 1,000 rushing yards is amazing, but I need the yards per carry to be less, to be higher. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Because I mean, he might lead the league in rushing.
That's right. Yeah, he's
close.
He's like third or fourth.
I mean, McCaffrey's probably going to lead the league, but let's say Jacobs has a big game, like he goes for like 200 yards or something, then he's right there. He's back-to-back rushing titles. That's why I think he's going to get paid though, because he's going to be able to say that I have.
Put it this way.
Whatever.
Sorry, you made me. You had me look this up. So Chris McCaffrey has 1,000 yards already. Who do you think has more carries between him and Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs has more carries.
10 more carries and 300 less yards, about roughly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so kind of shows you a little bit of.
I'm sure if we had Shanahan, I think Jacobs had more yards if he had Shanahan.
Jacobs is 6, so he's not. He's probably not going to win the title this year. He's 6th and he's 70 behind. He's 6th and he's 70 behind Derrick Henry for 2nd.
I swear he was 3rd. Maybe that was before last week. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he'd also played one more game than most of the guys too.
Do I remember that? Marcus still show a shotgun. Oh, for like drinking? I don't remember.
For hitting 10K. But
yeah. I got to do that. I don't know. I got my kids tonight, man. I can't. I'll say that for Friday.
Hey, kids want to learn something fun?
I got to take them to school in the morning and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. Where we at? Kind of lost here. I'm at the bottom. I feel like I missed some questions here. I'm missing question here, Matt. You see anything?
My bad. I wasn't looking.
You're good. Would you trade Adams to get Harrison? I mean, I would.
Oh, dude, Marvin Harrison. Yeah. Harrison, who are we talking about? I mean, again, I feel like if they're going to trade up, like, it's for a quarterback. Like, you're going to have to get up to 2 or 3 to get Marvin Harrison. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to get T. Higgins ever since they drafted Jamar Chase. Because I watched, I remember I was watching, Joe Burrow's first year, and T. Higgins just got better every single damn week. And then, I wanted to keep watching him, so I watched him with Brandon Allen, and he was just balling with Brandon Allen that year. And I was thinking, and then they drafted Jamar Chase, and I was like, you know what? You can't afford both of them. Yeah. Just trade him. I was like, just trade him now, Why would they give him $12 million for the best running game? Because one, Mark Davis loves him. So let's start there. Mark Davis is a big Josh Jacobs fan, right? He's probably going to want to bring somebody in that likes Josh Jacobs. Okay. Yeah. And then they're going to pay Josh Jacobs $12 million because Josh Jacobs is, they feel like he's like a Raider. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mark Davis is going to go more into the Al Davis thing these days lately. I feel like are you a Raider type of thing? We're gonna get more of that. And Josh Jacobs has that feel. So I think he's gonna get paid. I don't know what it's gonna be. Maybe they don't pay him, but he's still 25. To be 26 next year going into the season. So there's still some elements of him having some good play going forward. Haven't really seen him slow down. He's been playing better throughout, as he didn't play training camp. So yeah, I don't know, man. Especially if he ends up like 3rd in rushing, that's the thing. Like, what do you get to say to that? Oh, he ran the rusher title the year before, then he's 3rd in rushing. I guess you can get into the whatevers, but I don't know. They like this from Josh Jacobs, so
yeah. I mean, I think you nailed it right there with Josh Jacobs being Mark Davis's guy. Like, I feel like that's going to be one of the questions Mark Davis asks any GM or head coach that he interviews. Like, what do you think about Josh Jacobs?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about Josh? So what would your plan be for him?
Hear me out. The Raiders hire Mike Vrabel, and we know Vrabes is an old school football guy and wants to run the ball, especially after coming from Derrick Henry. But yeah, we'll run the offense through Josh Jacobs. Give him $16 million.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see who he hire. If they don't hire Antonio Pierce, I'm interested to see who they hire. I just hope it's not Brian Flores. It's not.
You keep bringing him up. I mean, is he like a candidate anywhere else, or is that just you just trying to get ahead of it?
He's got the Minnesota defense playing really well. He's got the lawsuit. There's a lot of things behind Brian Flores getting a job. I'm just saying, yeah.
Wait, why is the lawsuit? Why is the law just because Mark Davis wants to stick it to the NFL?
No, you know how things work. Guys, it might help him find a job somewhere. But he does have the Vikings defense playing really well too. Way better. They're playing way better than they did the year before. I think it's gonna be a big factor for him too. So a little bit. So
be a drastic change going from Flores to a Flores defense, or going from a Graham defense to a Flores defense.
Matt, are you a Raiders fan?
Apparently not. I don't know.
I mean, we're fans, guys. We're just being analysts, man. Let us be analysts too, man. No.
I don't know. Even before I did this, I had no problem being honest with the Raiders. About the Raiders. I only have a Raiders tattoo or anything, and the Oakland Coliseum tattooed on me. But yeah, I guess I'm not.
Hey, I mean that's some loyalty right there, man. The Oakland Coliseum, that's pretty dope. They want to get some Spencer Rattler in here. I just want to.
Please no.
I want to know why.
You know what won't make me a Raiders fan anymore is if they draft Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Oof. Spencer Rattler. Maybe like in the third round or something. But we already have a fourth round quarterback. No. That's my thing.
No,
we don't need another backup.
I don't want to. Look, if they're going to draft a 6-year quarterback, I prefer it not to be the 6-year quarterback that makes the same mistakes he did 6 years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, McCarthy, how do you not want to play for Flores during the comment process? I ain't even heard that story.
What?
But Brian Flores, I don't like defensive guys who hate quarterbacks. Like Vic Fangio. I mean, is Drew Lock good? Drew Lock might be good. We don't know. Vic Fangio is like, you're a quarterback.
Did you watch the Seattle game that he came in?
Yeah. No, what did he do? You throw a pick or something?
He went like 1 for 6 with like -3 yards. I think we can cross through.
Throw that away. Okay.
Yeah. We can throw that take away.
I'm just saying, man. But look at Tua. But Tua is Brian Flores is a big thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody likes the quarterback. You gotta like your quarterback, bro. D'Amico Ryans, he loves CJ Stroud. If you're a defensive guy, you have to act like the quarterback is the quarterback. Bill Belichick, he had Tom Brady who had a tough skin, so he didn't have to do that. But now he's trying to do that with all these other guys, and they're all sucking and they're all getting in their heads. Mac Jones can't make a throw. You know what I mean? He can't throw the damn football anywhere. He's all in his brain because Bill Belichick, is you're one of the players, and he can do that with Tom because Tom is mentally tough enough.
Yeah.
But like Mac Jones, he's gone. He
needs to get out of there. On that note, did you see Mac Jones's last press conference?
No.
As a starter, dude, it was like legitimately like I thought he was gonna cry like the entire time. I'm like, this is a broken man if I've ever seen it before. Like it hurt to watch. I'm like, oh, this is sad. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oof. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I don't know. You got any more questions here? I think we're kind of maxed out here, man. We went an hour though. It's good time. Kind of bi-week stuff. Kind of doing this. I like doing these. So people come. I like you guys. You guys, TDL fans come with good questions. We don't get any crazy stuff over here. I really appreciate you guys coming with the good football questions. I really like it. I really like the questions we get. All right. Okay. I asked this last one. Let's go last one. Wonder what kind of offense we run next year. Maybe an air raid or a West Coast spread. I hope we run West Coast spread. Like I want somebody who's doing what all the cool Gruden guys are doing. All the cool guys that were under Gruden. I want some of that.
Well, Gruden's available.
That's not right.
That would be a disaster, but
I thought about Gruden today because I was watching Brock Purdy and they did one of the concepts that he likes to do is like a choice route wheel. So it's like they do choice route to you like 800 times, and then they do it the next time, and then it's a wheel route. And John Green used to do that, but Kyle Shanahan does that with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, he does it with McCaffrey. So I mean, all these guys are they're little Grudens, but so let me get one of those. Let me get not Gruden. Let me get one of his disciples over here. That's like under one of those guys. If we're gonna
Frank Smith,
go that route, yeah, exactly. Somebody like that.
Yeah,
you don't
wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that or anyone from like the Shanahan tree. That seems to be working out pretty well for everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Appreciate you guys coming in here and joining. I keep turning on my light. Keep hit the subscribe button. It's your first time here, first time joining us. Subscribe. Get some of some of this Raiders analyst film work we do over here. So come out and check us out, man. I really hope you appreciate you guys coming and joining us. And there you go, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, Renee, supporting us. Yeah, but we're out of here, guys. Peace.